Hello out there, all you people, wherever you are, if you're listening to this. I just wanted to create another video that I've been thinking about for a while, and I wasn't sure which topic to make the video on. And then this weekend I was out of town on Shabbat, and I didn't get to reading the Torah portion until today. And as I was reading through the Torah portion for last Shabbat, the answer was right there. And so where the commandment says to afflict yourself on the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, Yom HaKippurim, that when it says to afflict your soul, it does not mean fast. Now, hang on a second. Before all of you people who just heard that shut it off and don't go any further, just hear me out, okay? Because I'm just going to point out some scriptures. And I think that these scriptures are significant. I'm not going to really give you my opinion. I'm just going to show you what the scriptures say, okay? And so this is where, when I say that, where it says to afflict your soul, the Hebrew word anah does not mean to fast. That's all I'm saying. Whatever it means to humble yourself, I think, is a personal choice. But again, I don't want to talk about what I think. I'm just going to point out what the scriptures say. So maybe if I can read some of these, it will make a little bit of sense. But in Leviticus chapter 16, verse 20, well, let me just paraphrase. Maybe I just explain a little bit of this. So this is after Aaron's two sons are killed, right? And Yahuwah is giving these instructions to Moses about what Aaron and his sons are supposed to do. And he jumps in on it in explaining the process during Yom Kippur. So the first thing that Aaron is supposed to do is he takes just the sacrifice is not the first thing. They have to change their clothes and do some ritual cleansing and stuff. But the first sacrifice is a bull that he takes for himself, to make atonement for himself. And he takes the blood of the bull and he takes it into the set apart place and he sprinkles it 7 times on the altar. And then he takes the 2 goats, right? Well, they sacrifice one goat and they place their hand on the other one, and that one bears the crookedness of the children of Israel on the live goat. And he confesses all of the crookednesses of the children of Israel on the live goat. And they let the live goat go out into the wilderness to Azazel. Okay, all of this is in Leviticus chapter 16. And then starting in verse 29 is where I'm going to kind of jump in, because there's a separate priest who has to take not the high priest, but a separate priest who has to take the ashes of the bull and the goat and take them outside the camp. And the bull and the goat are the Yom HaKippurim offerings, okay? This is one time a year these are offered. It's not a daily thing. There's a daily offering and there's special offerings on the holy days. So verse 29 starts in and it says, "And this shall be a law for you forever. In the 7th Chodesh, on the 10th day of the Chodesh, you afflict your souls. You do no work, the native or the stranger who sojourns among you. For on that day he makes atonement for you, to cleanse you, to be clean from all your sins before Yahweh. It is a Sabbath of rest for you, and you shall afflict your souls, a law forever." This is for all the children of Israel, to afflict your souls and do no work. All the children of Israel do this, okay? And this, where it says to afflict your souls, is the Hebrew word anah, which traditionally means to fast, and congregations and religions all over the world fast on Yom Kippur because of the way that this interpretation of afflict your souls is taken. Let us turn to Numbers 29 real quick. So there are some other offerings that are offered on the Day of Atonement besides the bull and goat sacrifices that happen once a year. 7 lambs a year old, perfect ones, they are for you. And their grain offering, the grain offering is the mincha. Their grain offering, fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah for the bull, 2/10 for the one ram, 1/10 for each of the lambs, 1 male goat as a sin offering, besides the sin offering for atonement. So this is an additional sin offering besides the one that they were told to do for atonement. The continual ascending offering with its grain offering and their drink offerings. Okay, so we see all of these offerings that they're commanded to do on Yom HaKippurim, the 10th day of the 7th month. They have an olah, they have a mincha, they have a sin offering, which is a chata'at. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, I hope so. Chata'at. And they have some other offerings as well. So a bull, a young goat, 7 lambs, so on and so forth. There's 1 other bull, 1 other goat, and 7 lambs that are offered. Additionally, there is a sin offering that is offered. And the other offerings include their mincha. The mincha is the grain offering. And if we go to Leviticus chapter 6 and verse 14, it says, this is the Torah of the grain offering, the mincha. The sons of Aharon shall bring it near before Yahweh in front of the altar, and shall take from it with his hand, from the fine flour of the grain offering, and from its oil, and all the frankincense which is on the grain offering, and shall burn it on the altar for a sweet fragrance, as its remembrance portion to Yahweh. Then, verse 16, Aharon and his sons eat the rest of it. Eat the rest of it. Eat the rest of it. It is eaten with unleavened bread in the set-apart place. They eat it in the courtyard of the tent of appointment. It is not baked with leaven. I have given it to them as their portion of my offerings made by fire. It is most set apart, like the sin offering and the guilt offering. All the males among the children of Aharon eat it. A law forever in your generations concerning the offerings made by fire to Yahweh. All that touches them is to be set apart. That is the mincha. Back in Numbers 29, it says that there's an additional sin offering. So we got to go to Leviticus chapter 6 to unlock the instructions for these different offerings that were commanded to do on the Day of Atonement. The mincha being one of them. And the mincha is to be eaten. The other one was that sin offering. And it says in Leviticus chapter 6, verse 25, speak to Aharon and his sons, saying, this is the Torah of the sin offering. In the place where the ascending offering is slain, the sin offering is slain before Yahweh. It is most set apart. The priest who is making atonement eats it. In the set apart place, it is eaten. So, we have 2 offerings for surely, which we know they were supposed to eat. The scriptures say that you don't have to fast on Yom Kippur, because that is not what afflicting your soul means. Because if it meant fast, Yahweh wouldn't command all of the males of the children of Aaron to eat bread on a day when they're supposed to be fasting. And I don't think Yahweh would command the high priest to eat a sin offering in the set apart place on the day when you're supposed to fast. So that means that Ana, afflicting yourself, afflicting your soul, does not mean to fast. Because there's one law for all of the children of Israel. And we're all supposed to afflict ourselves on Yom HaKippurim. If you choose to fast, that's fine. But that is not what Ana, afflicting your soul, means. I hope that helps clear things up. Don't take my word for it. Just go back and look at those scriptures I talked about and read it for yourself. Anyways, peace out.
Sing praises to Yahweh, who dwells in Zion now. Declare his wondrous ways among all the people, yeah.